I still love to drive. Something about the open road, summer breeze, your favorite tunes on the radio. Yeah, when traffic gets bad, it's not so good. And there's one thing that concerns me lately. I just don't understand. It's the four-way stop. The four-way stop seems so basic. You come up to the intersection, you stop. If you see no other cars anywhere, you go on. Or if you come up to the intersection, you stop, and you see cars on here and there, you wait for them, and then you go on. This seems pretty simple. But lately, it ain't so simple. I mean, first of all, late at night, some people never stop at any stop sign. They just zoom through. And then you'll get the guy who, after you get there first, and he gets there a couple seconds later, and if you hesitate one moment, he will gun through in front of you. And the worst is when you get there almost at the same time as the other person, and you're not sure if you're first, and you start to go, and then he starts to go. And then you stop, and he stops. And then you start to go, and he starts to go, and you stop, and you stop. What is this, cat and mouse? It's pretty simple. You get there, you stop, you look, you go. Or you get there, you stop, you look, and you wait. How is everybody in such a hurry? How has everybody got somewhere they gotta go? How is people just thinking about themselves all the time? All right? It makes no sense. We live in a society. We live in a community. Imagine if all traffic lights were all green 24/7. We'd all be dead by now. You gotta have law and order that you hold among yourselves, okay? When did four-way stops become Russian roulette? All right? Please, this is driving 101. It's fundamental. It's a stop sign. I beg of you, America, stop! 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 Because I'm going gambling mad! Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. And welcome to Gambling Mad. I am your host, Norman Chad. Gambling Mad, as always, sponsored by Fritos, picked fresh daily from Central California trees to your retailer later that same day. And by the refreshing taste of Fresca. It's remarkable. It's recuperative. It's Fresca. Fritos and Fresca. It's a meal. Coming up on Gambling Mad this week, the WNBA says goodbye to commercial flights. We have two of the most bizarre blackjack stories you will ever hear. And we will be giving you the Mount Rushmore of soft drinks. But first, which age group bets the most? Okay, we can throw out those who just came into the world and those who have just departed the world. The solution is somewhere in between, and the correct answer, of course, is millennials. Millennials. You can't live with them. You can't live without them bugging the hell out of you. Millennials, to the unfamiliar, were born between 1981 and 1996. Most millennials are in their 30s right now. The next group then would be Gen Z, born in 1997 and after. Just for the record, I do not look or speak to anyone who is Gen Z. Men's Health magazine polled 3,800 men. Nearly 40% said they had placed at least one sports wager in the previous 12 months, with pro football still the number one sport to bet on. Millennials particularly love wagering with the new mobile apps, which allows them to bet more frequently, as opposed to my age group, baby boomers, which likes to still bet with a bookie. And sometimes, he doesn't answer the phone, which means we bet a little less. The Men's Health survey indicated that the typical bettor is a white male between 25 and 34 years old, with the greatest number of them living in California, Florida, New York, and Pennsylvania. Two quick notes on this. One, sports betting is not even legal here in California, and we're still beating a path to the wagering windows. And two, just about every restaurant waiter in California is a white guy between 25 and 34. So since they're betting sports around the clock, that's why we get such poor service. The WNBA announced that its teams will use charter flights for all games this season. That means that the only major U.S. professional league still flying commercial is the NWSL. Many of you don't even know what the NWSL stands for, which is probably why it's the only major U.S. professional league still flying commercial. For the record, it's the National Women's Soccer League. That reminds me, I have never watched a National Women's Soccer League game, and you've never watched a National Women's Soccer League game, which explains why they're going to be flying commercial, I think, for quite some time. But let's get back to the NBA and pro sports in general. Almost all of the business travel any of us does over the years is on commercial airlines. I have never been on a charter flight. Almost all of my commercial travel is been in coach. Once in a while, my company flies me first class, and boy, I love those hot towels. My point is this. We fly commercial. Why can't they fly commercial? Yeah, I know. They're professional athletes with large and tall bodies that don't easily fit into regular airline seating. Hey, do like the rest of us and splurge for Economy Plus on United. Plus, let me say this, and let me just interrupt myself. I don't mean to be politically incorrect, but let me just say this, and we'll move on to the next topic. Brittany Griner was in a Russian prison for 10 months. And now I'm supposed to worry that she's got to squeeze into a middle seat for 2 hours? Oh, no. Who you kidding? All right, 2 unusual blackjack stories. One with a $1 million winner, one with a $1 million reward. Let's start with New Zealand's Tim Myers, an online digital creator known on Instagram as Tim Naki. He started a blackjack challenge in February. Every day, he would play one blackjack hand online, betting 10 cents for every Instagram follower that he had. So based on his 15,000 followers in February, it started with a $1,500 bet. He won that. In fact, he won 7 of the first 10 hands he played over the first 10 days as his Instagram following kept growing. By day 50, he was up to 320,000 Instagram followers. They could watch him play the hand daily online, and thus he was betting $32,000 a hand. By day 74, he took his viral online success live. He went to Red Rock Casino in Las Vegas to continue. And then on day 83, and I wouldn't believe this unless it were true, his Instagram following had exceeded 1 million. His blackjack bet had topped 100,000, and remarkably, on day 83, he achieved $1 million in profit. 83 straight days betting one hand at a time, following that formula, 10 cents for every Instagram follower I've got, and he made $1 million. This is such an improbable tale. To win consistently at online blackjack, I don't like your chances. To keep increasing your bet based on your total Instagram followers and to somehow make $1 million in the black, in the profit, $1 million in 83 days, I would think this were fiction if it weren't being watched daily on his feed. Congratulations, Tim Naki. That's the happy blackjack story. Now, here's the not-so-happy one. California real estate investor and sports agent Dwight Manley lost about $2 million in December 2021 at MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Manley, some of you may recall, was Dennis Rodman's agent in the 1990s. He filed a lawsuit against MGM claiming someone at the casino spiked a drink with ketamine while he was playing. He said he had ordered an old-fashioned and it tasted a little bitter. He finished it up and he ordered another old-fashioned. Then, according to the lawsuit, he began to feel disoriented. They kept extending his line of credit and he kept losing. A couple of hours later, he broke a glass ashtray, cutting his hand, and the hand bled onto the blackjack table. They offered him a Band-Aid and they moved him to another table. Another hour later, After now dropping a total of $2 million in the session, Manley went back to his villa and passed out. He woke up the next day and felt as if he had been drugged. Saw some doctors. They said his condition definitely was in line with something being in his system that affected him. So Manley went public, first offering a $500,000 reward, and now he has doubled it to a $1 million reward for any information that can lead to the person he says who spiked his drink. He's even taken out billboards across Las Vegas advertising the $1 million reward. You know, this reminds me of why I only play blackjack online. Time for Degen's Gonna Degen. George Sandoval was arrested and charged with battery at a Subway restaurant in Madera, California, after he assaulted the store manager. Why did he allegedly assault her? There wasn't enough ham on his sandwich. Okay, let's interrupt this crime report with 2 quick points. 1, his first mistake was going into Subway. 2, me, if it's a Subway sandwich, I want less ham on it. So Sandoval complained to the store manager, Monique Larios, about the lack of ham. She told KMPH-TV, I didn't expect this. He comes around the corner. I go, what are you going to do? Hit me over ham? And he hit me. She said, I still can't feel half my face. I'm 4'11", and he was 6'5" and almost 400 pounds. Anyway, I know this is too late for George Sandoval, but if you happen to wander into any Subway, I just recommend you order a Coke or a Sprite and get out of Dodge. Degen's gonna degen. Time now for the Mount Rushmore of soft drinks. This does not include diet sodas. That's a separate Mount Rushmore. By the way, who out there knows all 4 presidents on the actual Mount Rushmore? Go ahead, I'll wait. I don't think you know. And I'm not going to tell you. Google it, you nincompoops. All right, let's do it. The Mount Rushmore of soft drinks. Dr. Brown's Black Cherry. I don't know who Dr. Brown is, but he knows how to pick the best black cherries and add some bubbles to it. Next, Canada Dry Ginger Ale. You know, when I'm traveling in coach and I order a ginger ale on the flight, if they bring me a Seagram's or a Schweppes, I want to jump out of the plane. Who could figure that Canadians, it was actually a Canadian physicist originally, who could figure that Canadians could master this carbonated beverage since 1904? Next, Orange Crush. It's sublime. And I'm talking Orange Crush in a glass bottle, not a can. And don't tell me about Fanta and Sunkist and all those other pretenders. I also like Grape Crush and Strawberry Crush, but Orange Crush is, it's mood altering, it's game changing, it's life saving. Finally, last but not least, Coca-Cola, also known as Coke. The greatest, most successful retail item ever sold. The perfect formula. Pepsi people. I know you're out there. Who are you kidding? Okay. Jack Daniels and Pepsi? Get out of here. You know, back in the day, when you walked into the bar and you ordered a blackjack, they knew you meant Jack Daniels and Coke. You know, I don't even know why they still make Coke television commercials. You know, trust me, we've all heard of it. We're all going to buy it, and we're going to drink it. Nothing is better than a Coke. This is room temperature. It's supposed to be refrigerated. We went over this. We went over this in the production meeting yesterday. How hard is this to put this in the mini fridge? God, I got the highest paid staff in the industry, and they can't even take direction on putting a single Coca-Cola into the refrigerator. That's your Mount Rushmore of soft drinks. Dr. Brown's Black Cherry, Canada Dry Ginger Ale, Orange Crush, and Coca-Cola. What? You don't agree? I don't give a damn what you think. Before we wrap up, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. If catchers don't stop interfering with play in Major League Baseball, I'm going to start interfering with play by running out onto the field wearing a toga with a hula hoop and a garden hose. Catcher's interference is at an all-time high. This is when the catcher interferes with a batter's attempt to swing at a pitch. It's usually when you make accidental contact with his bat. Another form of catcher's interference, a very little-known rule, is if during the pitch, the catcher yells out, "Look, it's Jesus in the left field bleachers!" So why more catcher's interference these days? Catchers have moved closer to the plate to receive the pitch a little earlier to fool the umpire into calling a strike instead of a ball. Is nothing sacred anymore? You shouldn't try to deceive the umpire. That's like lying in confessional. So catchers, back off and play an honest game. Or I'll start watching Walker, Texas Ranger reruns on MeTV instead of the Dodgers. As you know, I love Walker, Texas Ranger. That will do us on this episode of Gambling Mad. I am Norman Chad. Hope to see you next time. And remember, if you're going to roll the dice, make sure they're loaded. Somebody give me a Coke! That is cold!
Gambling Mad with Norm Chad is written by Norm Chad and ghostwritten by Norm Chad. Executive producer John Scheinberg, Rick Barrio-Dill, and produced by Norm Chad and Rick Barrio-Dill. Associate producer is Bree Khoury. Showrunner is Dan Telfer. Audio-video engineering and studio facilities provided by 360 Pod Studios Beverly Hills and Slap Studios LA. If you want to complain to Norm about anything, make sure to reach out at Gambling Mad Show, anywhere you get your socials, and at Gambling Mad with Norm Chad on YouTube. And if you really want to get at him, send a message to info@slapstudiosla.com. And big thanks to Tony, the special sauce, who truly is the boss. Thank you for the cookies and the treats. We promise you to make the post-production move faster.